Welcome to ACD Combatives, your combatives and control tactics channel. Please like, subscribe, and share. Hey guys, Coach Kurt here. So this is a treat for me. I had an old friend reach out. You've seen her on the channel before. Val, was at my old duty station. You've seen her early in my channel. She works for a small department, but she has family in my new patrol area. It's about 4 or 5 hours away from where I used to be stationed. But she comes up here once a month to visit family, and she asked me if she could do a refresher class every month for 2 hours every month, and that's awesome. And now she's super busy because she works for a small department, and here she is from our older videos. She works 60, 70 hours a week, it seems, and so she just doesn't have a lot of time. So she is making time to do these annual or quarterly refreshers, or monthly refreshers, excuse me. And I think that's super important. I, of course, advocate that you train weekly, but if sometimes your schedule just will not allow it. And she's fighting to fit in monthly lessons. So we do 2 hours every month. She's going to take that time out of her regular schedule. So I thought it was important to work on some real basic stuff, the real meat and potatoes, how to defend from the takedown, how to take somebody down, super basic body folding type stuff, or using a lead leg kick to keep them off you, to get to your battle belt, how to escape the mount, how to keep the mount, side control, how to keep side control, and some basic guard as far as good protection from closed guard, and maybe getting up from the guard. So that's pretty much what we're focusing on. And here I am. I'm showing you some of the stuff that we did back in the day, about 2 years ago when I first started my channel. And I'm working on the basics of how to get the handcuffing from mount, using the Americana to set up for handcuffing. And I told her that's pretty much what we're going to focus on. And she was excited. And so that's what this video is if you have limited time to train, what should you focus on? At the end of the day, keep it super simple. The K.I.S.S concept. Keep it simple, stupid. And that's super important when you have limited hours to train. Here I am demonstrating the gift wrap position. Excuse me, my mind went blank. The gift wrap position is one of my favorite positions to not only use positional control on somebody. You can strike from there, you can hold them there and talk to them, or you can get into handcuffing, or you can bail out altogether. You got positional control, you see somebody else coming up on the scene, you need to bail out. Here I'm showing that you can still strike. Super good position in MMA, and here I am saying you can bail out. Now here I am at my current gym, just last week when she came to visit, and we're working some basic pummeling to warm up, and then she was going to do some basic take the back and or body fold takedown, and her favorite is the hip bump takedown. Here she is using that awesome gift wrap position. She's got her knee on my belly, and she goes for mount. Now she gave up the gift wrap. That's something we can work on in the future, is don't give up a good position if you don't have to. But that being said, don't be married to a position either. Sometimes you have to give it up. Here I am demonstrating the lead leg teep, or the front kick, or a stop hit, depending on your system and what you call it. I told her that we would focus on this as well because it's a great way to keep somebody off you that's bigger and stronger. Basically, shoot, move, communicate. They're moving in, and pow, you hit them with that foot and you keep them off. Now, in the real world, as a law enforcement officer, now that buys you the time to get to your bat belt. You get your gun, your taser, your pepper spray, your baton, whatever is appropriate for the scenario. And it's super important to remember that often, if somebody's moving in on you, you do not have time to just grab your taser and go. That's a lot of times you get disarmed that way. The front kick, or the lead leg kick, is a great way to keep them busy while they try to move in on you. So I highly advocate you add this to your system. If you only have a couple hours a month or even a week to train, again, keep it super simple. Keep it something that's going to be very useful. And this kick is probably the one kick that, if I could only have one kick in my system, it would be the lead leg front kick, and even the rear leg front kick. And then I thought, well, we need to have a body clinch takedown. And this was a demonstration from she throws the punch, and you use the elbow shield to protect yourself. And here we are refreshing that. And I put some gloves on just in case. And you use the elbow shield, and you duck in, and you enter aggressively into the attack. And I like to use the elbows almost like spears, and you hit them in the chest when you're making that entry. You go for a waist clinch. It's either going to be a body full takedown, or you're going to do a duck under and take the back. And that tends to be her favorite because she's shorter, and she likes to duck under the elbow and take the back and use the hip bump takedown. So that's pretty much what we focused on for the standing portion of the class, was the striking. She uses the elbow shield and the body clinch. Here she is taking my back using that hip bump takedown, which is super easy to use even if somebody's bigger and stronger than you, and then controlling the position. She did knee on belly to a mount, and she's not in a hurry from there, because you can control somebody fairly well from a mount if you practice on keeping that position. And here she is again, sliding to the back. I gave her a little bit more trouble this time. Boom, she was patient. She slid right into a mount. And watch, she's going to throw in the grapevines. You see what she's doing with her legs and her ankles. That's a great way to hold the mount, especially if you're smaller and lighter than your opponent. And so a lot of that time we chose, like within that first hour, was warming up. But we also used warm-ups with kicks, and here she is using the kick to keep me off of her. And we went back and forth, keeping me off of her with a kick, and then, it's too late. You're going to use the elbow shield and basically do a body clinch. And we went back and forth on those two for standing. And then we went to the ground, and we worked again on the holding the mount. Here I am showing her keeping the mount and how to get to handcuffing position. Again, the most important thing to remember when you're keeping the mount is keep the mount. Don't be in a hurry to go for any kind of submission or handcuffing. Hold the position. And they say in jiu-jitsu, position before submission. I like to tell you that the Gracies say the 100-second rule. And they say that because they want you to really emphasize, to the student, to the officer, to hold that position. Don't be in a hurry to try to go for the submission, because quite often then you lose your balance and you'll fall off the person. And here she is using the grapevines again, and she's experimenting with the gift wrap position and handcuffing, and just basically getting comfortable holding the mount. Here she is practicing the handcuffing, rolling into handcuffing, and it's a powerful position. It's quite often you hold the position like in mount or side control before you go to handcuffing. You let them burn their energy off. You let them get out of their lizard brain, which is a super important aspect of the training. That's why I say hold the position before you go for the submission or handcuffing. And here she is successfully using those grapevines. Now, there's ways to escape the grapevines, but the average creep on the street's not going to know it unless you're facing somebody that's a grappler. Here she is using my biceps to pin me down, and I'm just giving her basic energy there. She's simulated a headbutt to take the fight out of me, and I'm trying to buck her off, and she's successfully holding the position with those grapevines. I really advocate the grapevines or a high mount. And she's practicing that kickstand position where you put your leg up to use that as a ramp, basically, to go to handcuffing. Now we're moving to side control. And it's very similar to mount. You have side control. You see how I'm controlling her hips and her shoulders with my wide knees, and then I'm laying down on top of her, and I'm using that shoulder of justice, the right shoulder on their cheek, to keep her from turning into me. And I'm going to basically teach her the same thing I just did to her. So here she is. She's got that left knee in my hip and her right knee up in my shoulder area, and she's laying her weight across my diaphragm and chest, and using that shoulder of justice. Her right shoulder is pinning against my cheek. That's super crucial because it keeps me from turning into her. And I was like, basically that locks them in position, and the only way they can escape it is to bridge up and get that elbow in. You see, I just got the elbow in, and now I can shrimp out and insert my knee and then recover guard. That is basic 101 guard recovery in jiu-jitsu and MMA. That there are other methods, but that is the most important one, the first one that's usually taught, and it should be your go-to. And here I am showing her. You can also use it if somebody's standing above you. If I'm standing beside you, you're going to shrimp out using me as the base, and then I'm going to try to circle around her, and she's staying with me. You notice as she's on her back, you see this in MMA. This is the most successful way to keep somebody off you. You circle with them, and if they get in range, you kick them in the knee. You see that in MMA all the time, and there we are simulating that. I didn't want to actually get my knee kicked out. She's being very nice to me. And then technical get up or tactical get up. So you always get up facing your opponent. And here I am demonstrating and saying, hey, average police officer has 20 to 30 pounds of gear on, usually pushing 30. And it's okay to use both hands. And typically it's one hand, but see how I put both hands down and I do the J-Lo, get the butt up in the air so you have room to put those legs out behind you. Typically it's one hand, just like I showing there, and you're getting up. Again, super important aspect. If you only have like 2 hours a month in this case, I'm keeping it really simple. Now, she trained with me once a week for about a year and a half straight when I was stationed near her. So this is just refresher. So if all you have is 2 hours a month to train, and here she is recovering guard and using an open guard because she's got shorter legs. I was telling, push off, and I'm trying to control her, and she throws me. She's done that before. It's a lot of fun getting in the air like that. But if you only have 2 hours a month to train, keep it super simple, but it's super important to have a base. That's why it's super important to have a solid base of grappling built into the academy. And the academy needs to be working intelligently with the field training officers and the field control tactics instructors, because these are people that are going to be training them as they continue in their career. And it needs to match the strong basics, 18 to 25 weeks of academy. They have a solid basic. Maybe Gracie Survival Tactics would be the best system in my mind to incorporate in the academy. And then 2 hours a month at the bare minimum. I would prefer 2 hours a week, but 1 hour a week would even be, ideal. But if you had 2 hours a week to train, that's enough. Now here we are doing weapon retention. Here I'm saying, okay, at the academy, a lot of times they teach 2-on-1, which is not wrong. I do not say that's wrong, but now your hand is occupied and your head is open. So I still advocate 2-on-1, but I'm saying 2-on-1, 2 arms on 1 arm. Here you see me doing clinching the arm, using shoulder to shoulder, pinning the arm with the weapon, using a bunch of strikes, and basically striking them off of you, and or going into here I am demonstrating you could use a key lock or a Kimura. But the key to any good weapon defense is to trap that hand on the weapon, strike them, make them pay for their insolence for touching your gun, and then you're going to strike them until they try to get off of you, and then you're going to push them off. Chances are you're going to dislodge them from your weapon. There are more advanced ways of doing it, but keep it simple. Stupid, which is super important regardless of how many hours you have to train. Here I am grabbing the weapon, and she's going to demonstrate, or she's going to basically teach back to me what I taught her. She's grabbing the weapon, saying you're going to secure the hand, and then you're going into a high tricep grab. I'm pinning the arm, and that completely defends you from that roundhouse punch with her left hand. She can still sock on me with that. She could be doing these quick little rabbit punches to the side of my head, but they wouldn't be knockout punches because my head is buried into her shoulder and I'm controlling her upper body. There we go. She's got my hand. She's pinned into my shoulder, and I'm saying, okay, now use some knee strikes or A-frame kick. Again, the A-frame kick is basically a soccer kick up the center line, either into the thigh or the groin. And in this case, obviously, the groin would be extremely acceptable since they just tried to disarm you. And there she did a duck under again to take the back. She thought that was the appropriate time. Strike, loosen up their hold, distract them, getting them into their lizard brain in this case, making them freak out and not know what to do. And she slips around and takes the back. It would also be a good time to either take the back and take them down, or take their back and push them off of you, so then you could draw your weapon. Both are appropriate. It's scenario driven. Every time it's always scenario driven. Now again, she's right-handed, so I'm grabbing her taser, which in this case for her would be her pistol. I'm left-handed. She's wearing my practice belt, and so that's why I'm grabbing the taser. But that being said, it wouldn't matter, would it? If somebody's grabbing your taser instead of your pistol, it is the exact same response. Because if they get a hold of your pistol or your taser, they could use it against you, disarm you of your pistol, and shoot you, or use it against other people. So it wouldn't matter. So it doesn't matter. You'd be basically responding the same either way. Here she is successfully using that mount control with her grapevines, and she's controlling my biceps. See how she's tucking her elbows in? That's super important too. So that was pretty much it. 2 hours of refresher, and that was me basically telling you, if you have limited time, keep it simple, stupid. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please send them my way. Everybody take care and stay safe.
Give me your purse, now!
That's my purse.
Don't be afraid to shout it. That's my purse! Try it again.
That's my purse! I don't know you!
Let's roll. Hey, let's be careful out.